found inside the GameMaster Wilderness Adventures role-playing paint set are back and better than ever because they have been reformulated using the game-changing new Warpaints Fanatic formulation for better coverage, ease of use, and performance. In addition, these paints have gone from their smaller 12 milliliter bottles to larger 18 ml bottles offering even more paint. And with a free snap fit miniature inside, you'll be hard pressed to find a better deal in the hobby industry. In this video, we're going to show you how to paint up the free Hag and Cauldron miniatures found inside the Wilderness Adventures set. Start with the brush on primer that's found inside the set, thin this with some clean water, and apply all over the model. This primer adheres strongly to the plastic surface, giving your paint something to adhere to in later stages for smoother, even coverage. Take your time and apply this to the whole miniature, and once it's dry, apply a second thin coat to ensure consistent coverage. One of the great things about the range is that once you've purchased your GameMaster paints and run out, each paint has a matching color from the broader Warpaints Fanatic range, meaning you don't have to purchase an entire box to replenish your favorite and most used colors. You simply need to stop by your friendly local game store and find the nearest match on the rack. For example, Polymorph Green is a match to Scarab Green from the Fanatic range. Moving on, we'll apply our first base coat using Meteorite Metal to the cauldron. Apply this metallic all over the cauldron, taking your time to work it into the nooks and crannies. You could also use this to base coat the Hag's dagger. Next, carefully apply Poison Leaf all over the Hag's robes. Take your time to ensure nice, even coverage. Be as neat as you can and do your best to not paint over any of the Meteor Metal or Poison Leaf colors from the previous steps as you apply Topaz Skin to the Hag's exposed skin. Now grab that Polymorph Green we were talking about before and use this to paint some of the details on the robes. Stefan did a really nice job with his color selection here as the Polymorph Green and Poison Leaf play really nicely together. Now use Carnelian Skin, a very deep reddish brown, to paint in some of our Hag's jewelry and other details like the leather pouches and straps. If you do happen to paint a bit outside the lines, don't worry, just let the paint dry and you can go back and tidy up your previous colors as you haven't applied any washes or shading to the miniature yet. Next, with Hobgoblin Yellow, we'll base coat some of the skulls and other ornaments that the Hag is decorated with. You can also use this color to paint her teeth, or tooth as it might be, as well as some of the ingredients she's boiling in her cauldron. It looks like Stefan will also use this to base coat the flames before base coating the wood logs with Bear Brown. You can use this color to also paint additional details on the Hag as well as her zombie kitten's fur. Let's add a bit more color to the equation with Fire Dragon. Apply this to the eyes of the Witch Hag. Use Worm Blood for some of the jewels and pendants that she's wearing. Acer Gem to paint her bottle of potion, with Dryad Green painted on the bottom to represent a glowing magical potion inside. We'll also use this color to paint the magical flames emitting from the ooze and cauldron. And speaking of cauldron and ooze, we'll use the paint that's literally called Cauldron Ooze, an effect paint, to base coat the wilderness floor our miniatures are sat atop of. All of our base coats are now complete. It's time to add some simple shading and contrast to your miniature using the washes found inside the set. Washes are meant to apply a transparent layer of color over your miniature with the deepest pigments designed to flow into the recesses, adding instant definition to your miniature. We're using Rust Tone on the metals and other key areas, and Swamp Tone on the majority of the miniature. Take your time and ensure this layer isn't pooling too much in any undesirable areas. Let that wash dry completely, and when it has, you can see it's added great shading to the model, but it's also darkened it down a bit, which is great because your previous color is now the perfect highlight color. Grab some more of that Dryad Green and apply this to the raised areas of the flames, leaving some of the wash in the shaded areas and recesses. Apply this to your potion too before repeating this process all over the miniature with the other colors next, with Bear Brown, and on the clothing. Being neat and tidy, just letting the wash act as your outlines to color inside of. We'll repeat this with Carnelian Skin, then with Topaz Skin, Then we'll pick out all of the hobgoblin yellow highlights on the hag and her cauldron, and ace her gem before using the brush on primer as a gray to highlight the old hag's hair. For the metallics, we'll apply a simple highlight using our base tone of meteorite metal all over the metal bits, and then a final layered highlight of polymorph green. Once you're finished, use the same color to paint the rim of your base. Normally, we would use Chaotic Black from the GameMaster range or Matte Black from the Warpaints Fanatic range, but you can use any color that suits your fancy, as Stefan is doing here. And once you're finished with that, you're ready to field your scheming hag as a big bad or chance encounter for your first or next dungeon adventure. To learn more about the sets inside the GameMaster role-playing paint range and our full range of paints, tools, and accessories designed to make miniature painting simple, fast, and fun, learn more at your friendly local game store, preferred online retailer, or at www.thearmypainter.com.